Hello everyone, JR10 Does It Gold. I want to see if I could put together a quick video on how to assemble or put together a grab-and-go, portable, lightweight, inexpensive battery bank or solar generator for astrophotography purposes. This here is one of my batteries, and this is a Jackery 300 Wanderer. It's a very popular battery bank in the astrophotography community. It's portable, it is lightweight, it was reasonably priced at the time. It was a little over $300 for this 300 watt battery bank. Now, the problem with this, or in my opinion, the downside to it, is that the batteries that they build these with are lithium manganese batteries. They have a high energy density, and that's why Jackery chose to use them, because they're perfect for this kind of a situation. The downside to that is that they have a shorter lifespan than, say, the lithium iron phosphate battery does. This one, as I said, was a little over $300, and by the time shipping and taxes threw their little part in, then it was closer to $350. This is actually my second battery. The first one I bought 5 years ago died about a year and a half ago. The reason being is that with lithium manganese batteries, the charge cycles are limited, or lifespan of the batteries are limited due to the chemistry of the battery. Now, if we were to charge this fully, let's see what it's at right now. I don't know if you can see it. It's registering 97%. So according to this monitor, it's saying that 97% of the battery is available for use right now. Unfortunately, that's not completely true. If I were to charge this battery to a full 100%, obviously the monitor would read 100%, and I would assume that I would have the full 300 watts. After a couple of years and a number of discharges and chargings, the actual batteries that this is assembled with are not really fully charging. The charge capacity of this battery bank right now is 80%, meaning that even though this monitor will read 100%, only 80% of the battery will be available for use. So you have a 300 watt labeled battery, and you've got a lifespan of maybe 3 years before it starts giving you problems with charging and discharging. So I decided I wanted to see if I could put something together more useful for me, lighter. I mean, this is fairly light. I'd say it's about, I don't know, 8 pounds. And I would like it a little bit smaller. I don't need AC outlets on mine. I'm okay with USB, but even then I don't use those. So all I care about is DC out at 12 volts, at something in the 10 amp or higher range, to power my equatorial mount and anything attached to it. So I decided to see if I could put something together, and this is what I came up with. this is well, before I get into this, I was giving you the background on this battery. Now that it's been a few years, Jackery has actually come out and joined the lithium iron phosphate clan, and they also have their 300 watt Wanderer available now in this format, which is the lithium manganese, and then they have the same format but using the lithium iron phosphate batteries. You can tell the difference. This has a curved handle on it, and this is the lithium manganese. The newer lithium iron phosphate battery bank is got a squared off handle. If you look on Amazon or anywhere, you can definitely see the difference. The when they came out with the lithium iron phosphate, obviously they dropped the price on these batteries with the lithium manganese in them, and you can get this same battery bank now for $279 from Jackery, and I'm sure there's some places that are going to be a little cheaper, you know, maybe they've got sales going or whatever. But this listed at on Jackery's website is listed for $279, and it is 298 watt hours. The same Wanderer 300 in the lithium iron phosphate, they've got it listed at $299 or $300, and it's listed with a power rating of 288 watt hours. So there's an example right there of the energy density having an impact on the overall wattage that its capacity is as far as watt hours, and lithium manganese has more watt hours for the same format than the lithium iron phosphate, but the lithium iron phosphate has got a 10-year lifespan for the same battery bank as opposed to the lithium manganese. So getting back to this, I decided to see what I could put together, and I came up with this idea. I had this Plano polycarbonate storage container. It's a waterproof container. I had it around for a few years. I had another project. I was experimenting with it and never got around to using it. So I decided this would be a great time for it. And what I decided to do is I went on Amazon and I bought a 12.8 volt 18 amp lithium iron phosphate battery bank or battery cell. It's a deep cycle cell, and I wanted to keep it as simple and as straightforward as I could. So basically what I did, I have this 230 watt hour battery bank or battery, and I've wired it to a Renogy Wanderer 10 amp solar charger. I also put in it's buried in here, but I also put in a Bluetooth dongle module that Renogy sells separately and plugged it into this. On the outside, I only have two ports. I have one on this side and one on the other side. They're 5.5 by 2.1 millimeter barrel connectors. This is the load output port, and on the other side is the solar input. So you plug in the solar panel on this side, it charges, and when you're ready to use it, you just plug in your load, and this goes right to my ASI air on the equatorial mount, or on the telescope that it's mounted to. And from the ASI air through the power from this battery bank, I run everything with one cable. Now, I tested it a couple of nights ago on this setup that I just finished building. This is a Rokinon 50 millimeter, and I printed out the mounts for the EAF, or electronic focuser, and I haven't got the ASI air on it right now, but it goes there. And this is the ASI air 533 MC Pro. So I've got everything all set up, and I took it out, as I said, a couple of nights ago before the late storms came in, and I was able to run 4 hours on the Orion Nebula and the regions around it, because this is a very wide field view from this lens. And in 4 hours before the target went behind my house, I was able to get some very decent images for the first time using it. And in that run on this, it was running powering the cooler and the ASI air. It was running power to the guide scope. It was powering the EAF, and it was powering the AM3 mount. And in 4 hours, I used up 1% of the battery capacity, and that's pretty nice. Now, granted, this is a fairly light setup, but it still has a decent wattage draw, or current draw, for the Peltier cooler in this camera and the EAF and everything. I averaged about 22 to 23 watts with everything running, and in, like I said, 4 hours, I only dropped it down to 99% full, and a usage of 1%. So this can, this is so simple. I mean, a battery, some cables, solar charger, the Bluetooth dongle is optional, but I'd strongly recommend it. It's waterproof given this case, but this also is optional. I mean, this case is convenient in that it's small, it's light, it's lighter than the Jackery, and it's easily moved around. It's a great grab-and-go battery bank for short, quick trips, imaging sessions. And a small battery like this one will easily charge quicker than, say, a 500 or 600 watt battery bank like the EcoFlow or something like that. So you could have a 50 watt portable solar panel if you need to carry with you on a imaging session or short imaging session. And everything is so lightweight, and this isn't going to add a whole lot of bulk or weight to the entire rig. In all, the battery was $45. The solar charge controller was $18. The Bluetooth dongle was another $25. I've got about maybe $5 or $6 in two barrel connectors and a switch. You cut off the power when you're not using it, saves drainage on the battery. I think this is a very reasonable choice for somebody that wants to build a small grab-and-go solar bank like this. And it can be built. I did this within, well, including drilling the holes and everything, it took me about an hour and a half to assemble everything and wire it. So easy to put together. There's no rocket science to this. Just wire everything together and plug it in. It's all set to go. Anyway, I thought I'd just throw this out and show you that there are options out there. So I just finished putting the solar battery bank together and thought it's a great time to do a test on it and see if it can activate the mount while servicing the power for the 2600 AM MC Pro and the ASI Air that's mounted in the front. Let's see if we can rotate it. Okay, so if you're wondering if a small battery can handle the power drain of a mount and a large camera, I'm going to move the scope again, and right now the battery bank is showing 13.2 volts. And it's drawing 1.9 amps, so the cooler is running at this time. There's no power coming in because it's not hooked up. So let's start moving the mount. You can watch right here the amperage and watts being used. Moving the mount. It's going up to 2.18 amps, and it looks like it was drawing 25 30 watts. So dropping back to 1.9. Looking at 26 watts. Move the mount again. And it's moving, and it's peaking around 2.3 amps, 27 watts, which is far below the 18 amp capacity that the mount needs to function with everything plugged in. We'll move it back to its home position. And it's hanging around 2.3. So the sun is shining right on it right now. So I've got the cooler set to 0 degrees. I'm sure it's activated right now with the sun beating on it. Anyway, it shows that this is more than capable of servicing a standard equatorial mount with a reasonable load. Right now I've got a ASCAR ACL 200 ASI air, and everything was drawing and it was well within the limits, so I'm pretty happy with that.